Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to Comedy, the podcast that helps you find new, emerging, and undiscovered independent comedy podcasts. I'm Greg, the host and curator of comedy. Today's episode is from REMelations, a comedy dream interpretation podcast. REMelations is a dream interpretation podcast where they read listeners' dreams from nightmares to just plain bizarre. Join them as they give their comedic interpretation of your effed up REM cycle. If you like today's episode, make sure to check out the episode description for links to subscribe. All right, let's get this show started.
Begin.
Welcome to REMelations. We're your hosts.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Brooke. REMelations is a dream interpretation podcast where we read listeners' dreams, from nightmares to the just plain bizarre. Join us as we give you our comedic interpretation of your fucked up REM cycle.
This week we have a celebrity-packed dream that has to do with paparazzi, unappreciated teriyaki dinners, and cloud gods.
And don't forget about surfing, talent shows, and Abraham Lincoln.
Honest Abe.
Honest Abe.
We're also talking about insomnia tips and a new sleep disorder.
Ooh.
All right, bestie, let's get started.
Woo!
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Welcome to our ASMR podcast. We're going to put you to sleep. We do.
Oh my God.
Until that big boom hits. And then you'll be wide awake.
See, we'll wait till about 6:50 a.m. and then the boom drops.
You know what's funny is I was talking to my sister this weekend and she goes, I was sleeping and I listen to podcasts when I'm sleeping and, I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, who are these two bitches talking in my ear? She goes, oh wait, that was your podcast? I'm like, thanks, Shannon. Appreciate that.
Two things so far. One from your daughter and one from your sister.
Why? What did the other one say?
No, nothing. I was talking to your daughter just before the podcast and we were laughing about, well, not really laughing, but talking about vacation and she's going to try surfing. And so I said, oh, your mom's going to laugh at something I say later in the episode. So we're only 1 minute in.
Yes.
And now there's already going to be 2 inside jokes for this episode. You'll know once
oh
they
my
happen.
God. Perfect. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Already.
I have a great dream to start this episode.
Good.
And I am so excited. This dream has all of the things in it.
All the things?
All the things. All the things.
Give me all the feels?
Scary, funny, celebrities. It's going to give you all the feels. And the best part is, it comes from our Sleepover Squad member, Kellie from Australia. So it's going to be amazing.
Yay, Kellie. Yay. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so, okay,
I'm just going to get started because I cannot wait. This came in my mailbox. I was like, perfect.
Oh my
Absolutely
God.
perfect.
I'm getting my notepad.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. You're ready to go. Okay. So again, this comes from Kellie from Australia and she titled it, The One with the Cloud Gods.
Okay. Kellie.
She begins, there are 3 parts to my dream. It begins with me cuddling up with my new beau, Johnny Depp.
Oh, nice.
That's a beautiful start to a dream.
I hope it turns out better than his last relationship.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, we'll see. Okay, we got a long ways to go. This is a 2-pager. Okay. We're at our house but need to go out. But we both agree that we don't want paparazzi catching us, so we need to be sneaky.
Ooh.
Do you want the TMZ following you? No.
No. Mm-mm.
Is it now, Kellie? Is there TMZ in Australia, or is it the same celebrity news network that we have here in the States? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still paparazzi.
I'm sure there's. I mean, they got the Mirror and stuff in the UK.
Yeah, and there's paparazzi everywhere. I just don't know if they have TMZ. Could be called something else.
There was a lot of kissing before we left.
Ooh.
Hottie. We duck around them and head to Johnny's counselor's office, where he learns she is sick, so she has to close her business.
Forever?
Well, it's probably not good.
Unclear.
I mean,
yeah. Aww.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's getting some help.
Like mental health counselor?
I'm guessing in that sense,
Or like
yes.
his camp counselor.
Or like a high school counselor.
He's
Johnny.
like, I need to backtrack a few years. I need to start over. Tell me what I should be doing.
Your aptitude test comes back and says you should go into acting, but stay away from crazy bitches. Okay.
That's where he went wrong.
That is where so many things went wrong. That and the Coke. Okay, so he is devastated, but gathers himself up. The next thing, we're in a fancy hospital, and his counselor's having some scans done. That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
We're sitting in a room, comforting each other, but he has paid for the best treatments. I am then somewhere else, and he calls me to give me the results of my scan, and has come back to say, we're having a boy.
Oh!
She's carrying Johnny's baby. TMZ's totally going to want to know about this.
Don't tell him. We'll tell him, and then we get like money for.
Oh yeah, let's break the news. Let's break it.
We'll break
no
it.
one knows. Okay.
Okay, so wait, where is Kellie's person in this?
She just said
dream?
she moved. She was somewhere else, and he had to call to give her the news that they're having a baby boy. So counselor's still having scans done, not good. But now the focus is on Kellie. She's having a baby.
Oh, Kellie's the one pregnant. I thought it was scandalous.
Yes.
I thought the counselor was pregnant.
No,
Oh, I was like, this is juicy.
ew, so juicy. Okay.
Okay, got
I
it.
mean, either way would be really juicy. His
Either-
counselor or one of our favorite people in
Yeah,
Australia.
It's not.
She goes on to say, I put my hands on my belly and I feel the baby kicking because now I'm heavily pregnant. That went fast.
That went real fast.
I'm surrounded by a group of randoms who are apparently my friends.
I like that.
One of them starts mocking AH, and I tell her to stop. We all know who AH is.
Why is she stopping her from mocking her? She, it's not a great. Maybe she's got a lot of empathy. I don't know
Maybe.
why you would for her though.
I don't know. And I tell her to stop just as she stumbles and runs into the real AH. So she was there. It's kind of like embarrassing if you're making fun of. Yeah, I don't know. Scene change. Oh, go ahead.
It was a little early. I thought for sure that was the scene change. I mean, that's okay.
There's
Go ahead.
quite a few. Yeah.
Okay.
I am sitting on a couch watching a Chris Hemsworth movie with my ex.
Okay. I'm not angry at this so far.
So far, so good. I get up and come back with a delicious bowl of teriyaki that I had just cooked for him. This is her ex. He looks at it and
Okay.
says, nah, and pushes it away.
Axe indeed.
Annoyed, I slide it across the table. He then goes to the kitchen and starts to make himself a cheap packet of soup.
Oh, that's better. That's better.
I point to the pot of teriyaki and tell him, why would you make effing 50-cent soup when I spent all afternoon making that? I then grab the soup packet, tear it open, and pour the contents into the teriyaki. Have your effing soup, I say. Like her spite.
Oh yeah. Love it, Kellie.
The scene changes again, and I
Ooh.
recognize I'm now in the Chris Hemsworth movie.
Nice.
So it's no longer a movie.
Okay. I'm liking it even more now.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth. Thor. Hashtag.
What is Chris Hemsworth dream?
Please let us know. Oh. I
That's-
bet it's just like muscles and like glistening
I thought it'd be like a hot
of himself. I guess it
blonde.
doesn't make sense.
Like a hot blonde and like a hot brunette, and maybe they were friends for a while, and they were, like maybe did a podcast, and he's like, I gotta dream about these lovely ladies.
That is totally it. And Kellie. Let's bring her
And
into it.
Kellie,
She
yes.
deserves all the dreams from Chris.
She deserves them all.
Okay, so scene change. She's now in the movie, but it's not a movie. I am on horseback, riding with a group, and Chris is at the head of the group. I think I'm a captive of some sort.
Oh no!
I would totally be captive. I would be captive
be
by
like,
him.
okay,
That's fine.
Like, I guess I'm kind of okay with this after
Do
all.
Are there handcuffs?
Yeah, I guess I'm okay with this.
This is so weird. Two of the riders start mucking around. And I love the fact she used the word mucking because that must be an Australia thing. Mucking around. Turns out they are gods in human bodies. One rider makes the other rider's head pop on and off.
What is the benefit of that?
Like, I'm just picturing like a Pez dispenser.
Or it could be like me with my pens.
Yes, just taking all the caps on and off. Suddenly, a huge red cloud forms into face and hands, reaching down and with a finger and a thumb, squeezes the heads of the two riders until they pop.
Oh, well, that's what you get for mucking around.
Stop with all the mucking. Stop mucking around. Come on, guys.
Come on, people. Were you raised in a mucking barn?
Mucking barn. I hate when I muck things up.
Muck you.
Muck you back. Muck you twice.
The fever has made me delirious.
That's what fevers do. They make you crazy. But it's good. It's a good crazy. It's a funny crazy. Okay.
This is a good dream.
It is fascinating. Okay. I start to hear voices in my head. The cloud god telling the riders to stop being dicks. As heads pop and the bodies explode into red clouds and flames.
I wouldn't be mucking around with this god.
No.
He's popping heads.
Cloud fire. No. There's a lot of things you can pop. You can pop and lock it. You can pop the top. Just don't muck around or your head will pop off. Pop. Pop to the top. Very dangerous. Do not F with these guys. Do not muck around with these gods. Okay, so the big fire god cloud said, pop the heads off. The bodies exploded into clouds and flames, and then it set the village on fire, which we happened to be riding through. And the mine shaft / tunnel we were supposed to be riding through. So, like, there's just fire everywhere. Popping heads and fire.
Okay. That
Very
doesn't
dangerous.
sound like the place for me.
Even if Chris Helmsworth is there, like,
I don't feel like he's doing that much yet. I mean, no offense,
he's not
Chris.
helping out the situation.
Feel like there's a lot going on and not a whole lot of bodies staying intact.
We had to dismount and walk through, avoiding the flames. I was hearing more and more voices of gods as we got closer to our destination. They started to suspect that someone could hear them, but did not know it was me. We emerged into a large space with dozens of giant statues of gods. The stone ground overgrown with grass. The red clouds were building above us, and the voices were chattering, but I couldn't understand them anymore. I directed a thought of my own towards them, and they stopped.
Oh. She's got powers.
Then I heard a door close in real life, and then I woke up.
Kellie! Kellie! That was a good ending. I mean, frustrating, but good.
I told you that dream had absolutely everything in it, and it did.
Including Chris Hemsworth.
Johnny Depp, Chris Hemsworth, A.H.
A.H.
Which is funny because she just used the initials. She's like refuses to use the name. I can respect that.
It's too much respect. That's too much respect to use her name. We appreciate that, Kellie.
But we do want to know, so does your baby look like Johnny? Like, how was the rest of the pregnancy?
Yeah,
what's going on here? Can we come to your house for the bridal shower? Or the baby. Can we come to your house for the baby shower or the christening? I could be a godmother.
Oh, what is it? A baby shower. A baby shower.
What a baby shower?
A baby and a bridal shower in one.
Oh,
when it's close like this.
Let's add the wedding on,
because her pregnancy was moving pretty far along pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So the baby could be a teenager by now.
I bet he's beautiful.
I bet he is beautiful.
So to kind of go through this, Kellie.
Yeah.
It starts with like the secret romance with Johnny. We're all jealous.
Good choice.
But, not wanting to have the paparazzi around makes me think one of two things. Either that there's something that you're hiding, or perhaps someone's hiding something from you.
Oh, boy.
Or could it possibly be what people think of your reputation? You know how paparazzi's always trying to drum up the drama, right? So what's happened. So are you maybe worried about something in your life that you're just wondering what other people think?
Mm-hmm. I agree. That was going to be my impression of the paparazzi too. It's if not trying to hide something, just trying to hide. Maybe she's not ready to confront something.
Avoid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Depp and his counselor. Mm-hmm. And Depp's worried about this counselor, which makes me think okay, if you're seeing a counselor, great. We believe everyone should get help, mental health help if needed. Great. Mm-hmm. But the fact that his counselor got sick, it was kind of like a setback, maybe, in something that he was trying to achieve. So she's maybe watching this happen. So she's maybe watching someone who's having a setback, or a setback from progress, or perhaps she's worried about someone that she's close to about progress being made in a certain part of their life.
Sounds like she's got a lot going on, and kind of different areas.
So much.
So many different things she's concerned about.
Yeah, but Depp paid for it, which was very generous. So maybe that came into her dream because maybe that's a quality or trait that she respects or is looking for in perhaps someone.
Just security. Security.
Yeah, that someone's there for you. And we all have had pregnancy dreams, or we've talked about pregnancy dreams in past episodes. Not necessarily meaning that you're pregnant or you're going to become pregnant soon, but perhaps it's a new chapter of your life or a new beginning. So are you moving? Are you starting a new job or something, a new relationship beginning that has you dreaming of an expecting baby Depp boy?
Or are you just going to get your hooks into him now and keep him forever? Johnny Depp. Not the baby. But you should keep the
baby's yours for 18 years. Sorry.
You should keep the baby also. Don't get me wrong. Keep the baby.
And here's the part that annoys me in this dream, extremely, is the fact she dreamed about her ex. And he was such a dick. He was such a dick.
I was can't you even get him out of your goddamn dreams?
No,
you finally get him out of your life, and you can't even get him out of your goddamn dream, and he won't eat your teriyaki?
Who doesn't love teriyaki? Yum.
Some muckhead, that's for sure.
The biggest muckhead of them all is your ex. Kellie, do we hate to say the obvious? Just tell him to muck off.
Muck off.
The fact that she's dreaming about an ex is something perhaps in her past, but she's really telling him to muck off because in the end she's like, you don't want this teriyaki? You can't have my teriyaki.
You can make your disgusting soup with it and see how you like it.
And so she moved on. And I think that's moving on in the dream in that sense. It's probably a part of her who's well moved on in her life, or something that she needs to.
I have a feeling this was maybe something that happened for real. And she just, it's getting to live it out in dream form where, you always feel I wish I should have said that.
Yes.
And in her dream.
And punch him in the face.
She did. Yeah. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, we don't condone violence, but just in your dream, punch them in the face. It's fine. You can do that.
In a dream. It's fine.
You can't get in trouble. So then, the last part of this dream is just the whole Greek mythology, weird.
It got weird.
Red cloud devil ending.
Got a little creepy, got a little weird.
But Chris Hemsworth was in it, so thumbs up for that.
I did like that part.
You get the double thumbs up. Depp and
I like
Hemsworth.
Mindy's version of what Chris Hemsworth dreams about is abs and oil.
I'm sorry. I think that's what I dream about. I got that confused.
I was listening, I was like, what is he dreaming about?
No, that was my dream of him. I'm sorry. I got so confused in that moment.
We got the vapors.
We got so worked up. Okay, so moving on to this weird mythology part.
Yeah.
The popping of the heads and the color red. Well, red always is an emotional color in a dream. So either whether it's anger or passion, but I feel like this point it's more anger.
Yeah.
But the destruction almost is like karma because they were mucking around and then like the bigger god came down and was like, well, there goes your head.
You think the others would have like figured it out after it's like he gave kind of 2 warnings.
He did.
Stop it, pop, pop. Okay, then everyone else starts.
And now I have to set the whole village on fire and shit?
Yeah, that seems a little extreme.
No one carries fire extinguishers on their horses. Like,
no,
how
they're too
that's
heavy.
Not good for the villagers.
It's not good for the villagers. Because clearly they're an outpost and all they do is sell fire extinguishers. So when the people come riding by with their horses, they need that money. They are a small mom and pop shop. They need to sell those fire extinguishers.
They do. At the end, you know, kind of that big god comes down and is like, puts an end to it all. Like, stop, like,
right.
Destruction. Which I kind of take, going back to the beginning of it and thinking about what people think of maybe your reputation or think about you, like, just, you need to drown out the chatter, so to say. Perhaps just kind of rise above what people think. Because in the end, you are that higher being, Kellie, and you are that person's going to rise above and be like, you know what? I don't care what you little minions down here are down here doing, or I am a master of my own body, master of my own life, and you can just muck off.
Well said, Mindy. Well said. Oh my God, that was a good one.
Holy cow, Kellie. It has to be in our top 10. Fantastic job.
And this is exactly what we mean when we say you can submit anything to us. This dream maybe had it all. So you can submit scary dreams, fire dreams, any kind, happy dreams, sad dreams. We just want to hear it all. And if they're all happening at the same time, makes for a great story. So don't forget to send your dreams to REMelations@gmail.com or any listener stories or topics you might want to hear about as well.
Brooke.
Mindy, are you ready for Mindy?
Brookie.
Mindy.
Brookie, do you have a dream?
I don't. No, I'm just kidding. Of course I
Boom.
have one.
No, okay.
Boom. Episode over. Shortest one ever.
Shortest one ever. I think it would be the short. Like the first ones were pretty short, but
the first ones were pretty short, but this also hasn't been edited, so edited down, it'd probably be like 15 minutes.
True. We have to like edit all of your nose blowing and your COVID symptoms shit out.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm trying.
I should make you some soup with some teriyaki and see if you feel better.
Please don't put
teriyaki
the soup mix
soup
in it. Just teriyaki soup. I'll take it.
Sounds delicious.
Okay, so this is from Lisa from Kansas City.
Kansas City. I've never been to Kansas City. Have you?
Trying to think. I don't think I have.
I think I would like to be there and go there. But there's 2 Kansas cities. Isn't there a Kansas City, Kansas and a Kansas City,
Missouri?
So which one's she from?
Your
Let us
guess is
know.
as good as mine.
Let us know. Lisa.
Either way, depending on the story, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, then. Let's get started.
You'll know by the first line. I was taking a surfing class.
Woo!
Get it? The first.
So before we hopped on, you were talking to my daughter, and we were talking about vacationing because we were planning a vacation, and we wanted to do surf lessons because we don't have the opportunity here in the middle of nowhere. And that is awesome. I love it.
That's the first thing. Okay, so already we're on a good track.
Yes.
So I was taking a surfing class, but it was being held behind my garage.
Does your house back up to the ocean?
In Missouri? I doubt it.
Good point.
Or Kansas. I doubt it.
The Mississippi?
Those big crazy waves in the Mississippi.
The only time you get waves like that in the Mississippi is if a barge passes.
Yeah. And they're
then
not
watch out. Hold on to
surf-worthy.
your shit.
I thought it was strange, but really wanted to learn how to surf. I was shocked to see a full class ready to ride the waves. Nice. There was like 50 people in my tiny yard.
That's stretching. A big class.
It's a big class. Stretching and doing like warm-up exercises.
Do you have to warm up to surf? I don't even know.
I would imagine you have to stretch. And
sure.
if this is a class, you got to learn how to like jump
Stand up
and balance. So
okay.
But this was supposed to be a beginner's class, so they all seemed to be like stretching away.
Okay.
I asked the instructor and was told this was an intermediate class.
Oh, no.
But he said that I had a trustworthy face and knew I'd be just fine in this class.
Because, your surfing skills depend on what your face looks
on your
like.
Face and if you're trustworthy. I didn't feel the same confidence. I tried to sneak back to my house, but scene change.
Oh,
we were now at the beach.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if it's a beach in Kansas or Missouri, but they're at the beach.
Lovely.
I realized I was standing in some sort of line holding my surfboard. I could hear people chanting.
Oh, God. What were they chanting?
No, they weren't chanting.
Sheep, sheep, woof, woof.
Sheep, sheep, woof,
sheep, sheep, woof, woof.
No.
If you don't know the sheep, sheep, woof, woof chant, you have to go back to like Field of Greens episode because that's a
good one. That's a good one. So she could hear people chanting, but the sun was so bright I couldn't see anything. As I moved closer to the front of the line, I could see we were on a conveyor belt and it was moving us closer and closer to what looked like an airport screening machine for small bags and carry-ons.
I never knew you had to go through TSA to go surfing. It's too much work. Well, you have a swimsuit on or a wetsuit, so like, where are you going to really hide anything anyway?
You're like, check. You know what? I'm not doing anything bad.
Do the pre-check shit, like get on the beach sooner.
One by one, everyone would lay their surfboard down, lay on top of it, and go through the screening machine.
I love this dream. I love it.
However, at the end, it shot you straight into the ocean to catch a wave like a cannonball.
Oh my God. Sounds so much fun. I'd go through it just to do that part. Nothing to hide.
Now I knew this was not an intermediate class.
Nope. That seems like advanced to me.
I watched helplessly as people were being shot into the waves, and it seemed like there was an audience cheering and clapping.
And still chanting, like, go surfing, go surfing, go surfing,
you
go.
got out of security, go.
Go, fly. Yeah. Okay.
Here we go. It gets even better.
Wow.
Then I noticed the strangest part. It's always better when that line comes up.
You're like, it's not weird already, but please go on.
No. Everyone in line had some sort of costume or instrument or something. And I'm looking out into the waves. And as each person hits the peak of the wave, they have to start performing. It was like a competition reality show.
Oh, God.
There were dancers, singers, magicians.
Watch me pull this rabbit out of my wetsuit.
That would be a trick. That'd be really tough. That'd be really
I think
tough.
Can we try it? Chris Angel, can you please?
Yes. Can you pull a rabbit out of your wetsuit? Dare.
On a surfboard, double dare.
On a huge wave.
After being shot out of a cannon.
And going through security on your surfboard.
Well, the security would easily see the rabbit, so jigs up.
Sorry. You can't sneak a rabbit into this competition.
Wow.
All right. It was just me and my board. I have no skills or props.
Oh, no.
Before I could even process what was happening, I was going through the scanning machine and got shot out into a wave.
How could you even read through this dream?
Okay, we're almost there. Just stick with me.
I'm trying.
I stood tall on my board at the peak of the wave and started my descent to the beach. I can see it in slow motion.
What's her talent? I want to know.
Only now I am dressed as Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my God. Brooke is going to die over this dream, so you know.
Oh,
thanks for
lot,
killing
Lisa.
her. Killed my best friend.
Sorry. It's Lisa's fault. Avenge me with Chris Hemsworth.
And the cloud gods.
Okay.
So she's Abraham? Like,
Yes. You see.
okay. Being from the land of Lincoln, I can completely respect that.
Mindy's an expert.
Yes. Me and Abe go way back.
Way back. Like 7 years ago back.
Nice one. That's a long time. How long is a score?
What is a score? I think it's like a week or 2 weeks or something. Look it
Only
up.
4 score? Oh, okay.
And 7 years.
Oh, okay. How long?
It
is
might
a
be
score?
like, maybe it was like 2 weeks and there was like a month.
I mean, I know what a fortnight is.
That's 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks. How long is score? 20 years.
Whoa, why didn't
Score. Okay. Lincoln Addresses starts with 4 score and 7 years ago. A score is equal to 20 years. So he's referencing 87 years ago. 1776.
Why didn't he just goddamn say 87 years ago?
Because he's fancy like that. He just needs to do it with a top hat too. I don't know.
That's too confusing.
I don't know. I would have said 87 years. I had no idea, but now I do. Hey, bestie out there. Now, if it ever comes up in trivia night, how long's a score? You're going to know it.
20 years. Easy peasy.
Winner.
Okay, so let's get back to poor Lisa, the top of a wave dressed as Abraham Lincoln. I didn't change my positioning or anything, just stood tall as the surfboard guided me down the wave, and I rode the board all the way onto the beach. Not a stumble, like floating down a silk mountain. Once the board came to a stop, I simply stepped off the board, took off my hat.
Of course she had a hat on.
Bowed to the audience and walked away. As I walked away, I heard someone say, "Whoa, I've never seen anyone do a link before." Oh my God. Like, that's a big surf move. A link.
Well, it is now. That's it. And then she woke up?
Then she woke up. I've never seen anyone do a link before.
When I go on vacation this year, and if we take surf lessons, I'm going to ask if he can teach me a link. Or she.
Just ask him, hey, I've just really been like learning surfing, and can you please teach me the link?
They're like,
They'll be like, lady, you're not allowed to swim when you're this intoxicated.
Which would probably be true. Who are we kidding? Oh, my God. Incredible. Lisa, wow. Whew.
Oh, this is a good one.
So many symbols.
Very different dreams from both of our listeners.
But both incredible. You guys should be friends. You should become besties.
You should be friends. I need to take a rest here for a second.
Hydrate.
Gatorade. It's my favorite kind too, Riptide Rush.
Oh.
You can't find it too often, so I get excited when I see a Riptide Rush.
Riptide Rush?
Oh, Riptide.
You're drinking Riptide.
Speaking of surf classes.
Nice segue.
Thank you. So there's so many people signed up for this class.
That's a lot of
50 people. I don't know if this represents just like kind of being lost in the crowd. Maybe like not really. The sea. And with the surfing class, I think she maybe is trying something new. And sometimes that's scary or, you're not really sure of yourself. So maybe the fact that it's in her backyard, and we've talked about stuff like this before, it's just a familiar place. Mm-hmm. It's kind of bringing comfort to whatever struggle she's dealing with, some new situation. But I don't know where to go next. I mean, it's a beginning class. It's an intermediate
She's
class.
Got a trustworthy
and then
face, so it's okay.
She got a trustworthy face, so I wonder what her face says that they let her get into that advanced
Well, she is
class.
honest, Abe. I mean, so...
She is. They can't turn her away.
Which is weird because she wasn't honest Abe in the beginning, but...
No, not till the very end.
Isn't that interesting? How, someone's like, you have an honest face, and, later she's Abe Lincoln?
That is on a subconscious level pretty brilliant.
How does the brain work like that?
I mean, she's obviously a great storyteller. So I wonder if maybe she is like a writer or somewhere in the creative field in real life, because I feel like she's got a real gift for it.
And an honest face.
And an honest face.
Trustworthy face.
But she nails her stunt at the end too. Like, I know we're jumping ahead, but even though she went to a beginning class and, you know, she was really scared, she persevered and she didn't know what was going on. But then, you know what? She was unprepared, but she nailed it. So I feel like that means she must work well under pressure. Yeah. Kind of shows she can do it. And she clearly does not let fear stop her. I also think what's interesting about this dream is, although she was afraid, she was clearly pushing herself out of her comfort zone. And I am a big proponent of this, because sometimes you just need to kind of be shaken to awaken, as somebody told me. You got to be shaken to awaken.
Like yeah.
And yeah, step outside of your comfort zone. You grow a little bit. And I think she's really trying to do that.
What is something that you've done in your life that you pushed yourself outside of that comfort zone, or did something that maybe exhilarated your soul?
Going to India.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Only because it pushed me outside of every single one of my comfort zones. It wasn't just like one.
The culture's different. The food is different. The weather's different.
Weather's different. There's cobras. Everyone, I mean, sounds, sights, smells, everything is so overwhelming. But you come out of it stronger.
Yeah. And speaking of cobras, you have a good story about a cobra in India, don't you?
I touched one. I'll have to get a picture for the website,
please.
People.
Yeah.
I am very scared of snakes. Well, we've talked about snakes, but I can appreciate them. But I'm like, this is something I have to do. Like, this was me facing my fear. Mm-hmm. And I was really proud of myself, because I sat so far away from the guy at first, and he kept going closer. Nope. And I'm like, kind of scooching. And then he's like holding it, and I reach out to pet its head, and I'm like, no. And he's and he keeps telling me, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't know if it is.
I don't know you.
I have a picture, and you can see every muscle in my face is clenched as I'm like petting this cobra.
But you did it, and that's kind of like the whole part of this dream was how you overcome something that you were afraid of, and I think Lisa did the same.
Step outside of your comfort zone. How about you, Mindy?
When Mark and I took a trip to Jamaica, it had been like 4 years ago now. I don't know. I'm lost. I'm on COVID time. I still don't know what year's what. But we went to Jamaica and we did a waterfall tour.
Oh.
And it was beautiful. It was called YS Falls. And we had a tour guide, amazing, funny guy. And he took us to the highest point of the waterfalls, and there's like a rope swing. And he's like, jump. And then we're like, what?
Wait.
He's like, no, you can do it. You can do it. And he's like,
come again?
Swing and jump. He hands us these gloves, and we're like, and he made it so non-scary. Like, yeah, just do it. You can do it. Let's go. You can do it.
How
you can do
do
it.
You know when you let go? Like, I'm nervous. Like,
he yelled when to let. So he's like, I'll tell you when to let go. And so you swing, and then he tells you when to let go, and then you fall into this big, I guess, deep pool, because
otherwise crack.
And so we did it, and it was the most exhilarating thing I've ever done. And then he's like, do you want to do it again? And we're like,
yeah.
Hell yeah, let's do it again. So we did it twice. That story. And we have a video somewhere, but it was like, I wouldn't have normally thought. There was like a baby swing for like some people, but he took us, we must have looked like adventurous people. And he took us up to like the monster swing on top.
You must have had trustworthy faces.
We must have had trustworthy faces. And top hats. I always wear my swimsuit with a top hat.
I didn't know you could buy a swimsuit without a top hat. Didn't know those even existed.
They charge extra?
Well, that's probably why I've never had one.
Is it silk? It seems like a bad idea if it's silk.
I don't think silk is a great
Maybe
fabric.
That's where the magician hid the rabbit.
It's just a silk scarf. And then he hid it under Abraham's head.
It just comes out of his mouth like a deck of cards. Anyways. So, no, I think your interpretation of this dream is really spot on, that it's about pushing boundaries and doing something
Yeah,
out of your comfort zone.
definitely.
Which I think everyone can take that and walk away with something.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's a little step outside of your comfort zone, you still grow as a person, because whether you stumble or whether you fall or get back up, you still learn something. And it's not always easy, people. It was not an easy trip, but I'm glad I did it. And I'm sure you're glad you jumped off that cliff too, off that swing.
If you've done anything adventurous, let us know about it. We would love to share your story.
Yes. In addition to that, clearly the waves had to be big enough so people had enough time to perform on the way down. But the waves were huge. Were huge. So I think, and we've kind of talked about this too, the size of something might represent the importance or the gravity this issue is having in her life. So it's obviously something big for her. I looked up some stuff on waves, but it's kind of, it all depends on, the context and the dreamer. But it does say that waves represent the control you have over your life. So the challenge comes, but don't let yourself fall to face the world. When the waves drag you, you feel helpless, but you can overcome. And that's what it said. And I'm like, you got this, girl. You do. It's calm under pressure. You did it. You showed the whole world. The conveyor belt and the scanning machine. This one's got me
interesting. Maybe it's part of being vulnerable, though, right? Because you're being scanned, like they're checking everything to make sure, whatever. If it's like an airport screener, it's vulnerable. So maybe it's like by putting yourself out there, she feels the vulnerability.
Literally out there, like shot out of there. But it's like at first they're like just all kind of like standing in a line on this conveyor belt before they even get to the other conveyor belt. So I'm wondering if she's like kind of bored with something in her life or feeling complacent. Maybe she needs a challenge. And boy, did she get one when she got shot right out of that scanning machine. Woo! Into a wave. Now that's a challenge. That is a challenge.
But she overcame. She not even just overcame, but like walked off and bowed because she overcame it
I don't even know if she won because
but it seems like it mattered to her. Like she's like,
didn't it? She did it. She braved it. She did it.
She did it for herself.
She did it for herself. And I think she can do it in real life too with whichever's bothering her. But every summer I feel like when network TV is kind of slow or it's the summer shows, they always come out with some new crazy show, song show or competition show to add to the lineup. So I'm like, the shows keep getting bigger and crazier. There's wilder acts, there's crazier stuff. I'm like, so why wouldn't a surfing talent show be part of this summer's lineup? We can only keep our fingers crossed for that.
Can we? NBC?
Please.
And you know who could be the host? Chris Hemsworth.
No, you don't even understand this because
he's an Aussie.
And he is a surfer.
First circle. Okay, that's it.
He is.
Wow.
I know
Incredible.
for a fact. I watched a special with him.
Okay, well, there we go. NBC, we will take all credit and royalties for that idea. Thank you and good night.
Lisa, I'm glad you made it safely through the entire dream.
And please send us more dreams. That was incredible.
Yes, that was amazing. We loved hearing from you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
If you are enjoying the show, these 2 dreams were absolutely phenomenal. If you enjoyed them,
fantastic episode.
This might be my favorite episode yet. I don't know. These dreams were top 10.
These are good.
If you want to support our show, the best way you can do that is by going to REMelations.com/support. From there, you can join our Sleepover Squad, which is a group of besties who get extra dreams and extra content each and every month. And if you're the first 25 besties to sign up, you get a free REMelations Original Besties t-shirt, which is going to be killer, and you're going to want to get that merch. But you can support our show by just giving us a 5-star rating, sharing with a friend, following us on social. We just appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in every single week, and we're having so much fun doing this, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. Speaking of support, you know what, Brooke? We just are under 5,000 downloads.
No way.
Yes. Yeah. We just started. We
so
started this
exciting.
podcast, in November, and we are just under 5,000 downloads. So if you know someone who would enjoy this podcast, spread the word, spread the love. Go back and listen to some past episodes. Let's get those numbers up
Give
there.
us a chance. Listen from the beginning. We're figuring it out, and you clearly know it only gets better from there. But
yes, but I thought that was exciting. So thank you to everyone who's been with us from the beginning, and thanks to all of our new listeners.
yay! So, Mindy,
Yes, darling.
we've all heard of a little thing called insomnia. We know I got it real bad. I got the somnia.
She's got the
Got the
somnia. Yeah,
somnia.
you do. I don't have the somnia. I've never had the problem.
Oh, I hate you. No, I love you.
Why?
Because you can sleep like a baby, and I can never fall
I
asleep.
can. My mom, when I was a little kid, she'd be like, you were the easiest child because if you were tired, you just like go crawl in your bed and fall asleep. Like you never had sleep issues. You were always a kid like, I'm tired, I'm going to go take a nap. And if I fall asleep at night, I sleep like a rock.
You are a treasure. You really
I'm out. Besides my crazy dreams, of
You're
course.
killing me here. You're killing me. I wish. And so I guess I can't play this game with you. It's not really a game, but I thought I would share a few things that I do that are a little crazy. And then I have a new interesting term that I haven't heard about that I'd like to share with everybody. So I do typical things, count forwards, count backwards. Sometimes
You count sheep? Because they're kind of cute.
I don't. I should count sheep. I guess counting numbers doesn't work anyway, but sometimes I like sit there and I like sign the number with my fingers too, or sometimes I do letters. Sometimes I try to think of all the cast, real names and character names for a show.
Oh,
I'll just pick a show like Melrose Place, and it'll just give me something to take my mind off of whatever is bothering me. I also, I don't know how this has any effect whatsoever, but it works. I flip around. So my head is at the foot of the bed and my feet are on the pillows.
You're switching up your feng shui. You're
I'm
like,
switching it up.
You gotta do it.
And I
do it
can
different.
he has never said anything yet. I'm waiting. He's had to have noticed that.
Oh,
Like
your boyfriend Chad?
like,
he doesn't. Why?
Because I tell you what, it confuses my cat Spooky. So
Sure.
it's got to confuse my boyfriend Chad.
He's like, why are your feet here?
Spooky will jump up and I'll hear him go like, meow, and he's like by my feet because he can't. He's like he knows that's where my head usually is, and I'll go, "Come on, buddy," and then he'll like run down.
It's like, wait a minute.
But Chad has yet to ever say anything about that one.
He loves you for everything you are and every direction
Or maybe
you sleep.
he's
I guess.
like, maybe she's gonna kill me in my sleep. I better not bother.
Perhaps.
Same. I think then the rest are kind of basic. Like white noise machines. Fans. I need a fan on me. But
I'm the same way. We have a fan on, or we actually have a white noise machine. I never grew up with having a fan or a white noise machine, but Mark's a big white noise. So it's like waves, actually, oddly enough. It's like waves.
Waves, surfing. Mm-hmm. We're all together in this episode. I'm just saying white noise things, but I was going through when I got my Alexa. Is it Echo? No, which one is it that has the screen on it? Okay, well, anyway, my brother got to me for Christmas, but I was like, let me listen to some of these sleep sounds. Do you know there are so many kinds? There's white noise, black noise, brown noise, pink noise. I'm like, what is all that? I'm like, I gotta love pink noise. Guess which one surprisingly I like the best?
Brown?
Brown. Brown.
It's like so the opposite of your favorite color.
It is.
Pink.
I was like, oh, pink's going to work for sure. But and they're not that different. Like when you listen to them back to back, they're not that different. But whatever reason, brown
there has
works
to be
for me.
something that they are distinguishing, like the wave. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've only tried those kind, but I do want to try like other stuff too, like sleep stories and things like that. I haven't tried those yet.
Listen to ASMR. No, I could never do that.
That's our second podcast.
No, our second. Please, no.
Okay. And I know people are going to have stories to share with us.
Yes,
so
like what do you need to do to fall asleep? Because there's probably certain routines you need or for certain things you need to fall asleep. Like I've got, I usually take out my contacts. I wash my face. I put on rose water spray on my face.
Oh, well, aren't you gorgeous?
I know, I'm fancy like that. I got it at Marshall's for $7, but I love it. Going back when I was growing up, my parents used to listen to like old time radio programs.
Oh, yeah.
So like 1930s, 40s, radio shows.
Like the fireside chats. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So growing up, I used to hear it from my parents' room. And it must have been soothing because as an adult, I cannot fall asleep without listening to something. And then often it's like an old time radio show. And there's my favorite ones. Like my favorite one is Suspense, which is like a murder mystery weird one, which is why I probably love true crime so much. But there's like comedies and things like that. And I would love, to find a newer, they call them audio dramas now, a new audio drama to listen to. So if you have any recommendations,
they do.
please let me know,
I haven't listened to one, but I've seen commercials for ones where they're like 4-part episodes.
Yeah,
and
it's like seasons.
Yeah, seasons.
Love it. But I need that to fall asleep. Mark needs his white noise machine, his wave machine, and I need my old time radio. But the funny thing is now I've got Mark listening. He like starts doing it too.
Oh, good. You've worked together.
So now like we have to, sometimes we listen together. But here's a funny story. So this weekend we were at a family wedding and my whole family was there. And my niece, Lexi, who's in her late 20s, we were the last ones awake and we had the double room. So she ended up sleeping in our room, in her hotel room. And so when we were going to bed, I was like, do you mind if I put on radio theater and like old time radio? And she's like, no, I
Did
love
you say
it.
Theater?
Yes, we used to call it radio theater. So I asked if she minded if we put on old time radio theater. And she goes, no, I like listening to it when I fall asleep. And so here we are.
She must have gotten it from your sister.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's a family thing. I don't know.
Maybe she heard it growing up too and passed it along to her daughter.
Yeah, so we listened to about 0.2 seconds and we were all passed out because we had been drinking all day. But it was a fun time.
So this is the term that I found out that I wanted to share with you. And it's called revenge bedtime procrastination. Have you ever heard of it?
Ooh, no, but I'm interested in it.
And it's a real sleep disorder. It reminds me of like pastoral children that don't want to go to bed, but it's a real thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to read a little bit about it, but it's like an adult thing, really.
Okay.
So what is revenge bedtime procrastination? It's a refusal to shut your eyes when you know you should, an actual psychological phenomenon called revenge bedtime procrastination.
Interesting.
This term first surfaced in 2014 in the Netherlands. It was finally introduced to English speakers last summer by writer Daphne Kellie, who has defined it on Twitter as a phenomenon in which people who don't have much control over daytime life refuse to sleep early in order to regain some sense of freedom during late night hours.
Oh, God, yes. Okay, I didn't know there was a term for this, but I know exactly what you're talking about. This is me each and every night.
I was like, this is you, Mindy, isn't it?
This is me. Because by the time I get the kitchen cleaned up and the dog out for his final little pee-pee walk and put the dishes away
The kiddo's in bed.
The kids are in bed and they're tucked in. It is me time. And I love it.
That's why I thought this is really funny. I'm like, Mindy's got revenge bedtime procrastination.
I love the name. That's very interesting. Interesting way to put it. I call it mommy me time.
I think a lot of people probably call it mommy me time.
But now we have an official term. So
people that also, have first shift jobs or something too, probably.
Yeah, sure.
Or even, just different situations. Like you said, you're taking care of the kids and you're running around and you're doing everything all during the day. You're like, I need some time for me.
It's me.
So I thought you'd like that one.
I do. And it's usually nothing but these days just scrolling on Instagram or
anything.
I should be reading a book. I should be spending that time reading a book. But it's it's just the quietest time of the day when everyone's sleeping. And I don't care if it's even when Mark falls asleep, it just gives me like 5 minutes. I'll stay up 5 minutes longer just to have 5 quiet minutes to myself.
This might be the saddest thing I've ever heard. No, just kidding. I don't know what's worse.
Especially when
insomnia or revenge bedtime procrastination.
Where there's a battle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But once I'm asleep, I'm out to the world. I'm dead.
So
I'm dead to
I
the
think
world.
you're on the better end of the spectrum here. Just wanted to talk about one last thing. And we've kind of already talked about it without even realizing. Can headphones and a sleepy podcast solve your sleeping challenges? So with all the conversations today, I'm like, oh, this is funny because I have some things to say about it. And it said listening to someone's voice, narrating an audiobook, or talking on a podcast can be an effective sleep aid, experts say. And it just reminded me of your story from your sister who thought she was getting a nice, relaxing podcast.
And then she's like, who are these crazy bitches in my ear?
It was us.
Sorry, Shannon.
It was us.
It's just us. So maybe we're not the best podcast to fall asleep to.
Although we have had people say that they do like listening to us, or if they wake up in the middle of the night, it's something that helps them relax and maybe get back into a more comfortable state. So, hey, podcast.
So curious.
Yeah.
Maybe we can put a poll out on our Facebook page. And if you're not part of our Facebook group yet, you should go check it out. It's if you look for REMelations Besties, you're going to find it. It's a Facebook group that a lot of cool people are in. And maybe we'll put a poll out there to see when do you guys listen to the podcast? Do you listen to it when you're sleeping? Do you listen to it while you're doing dishes? Or are you doing your, what was your term? Vengeful.
Revenge bedtime procrastination.
Oh my God. I know there's other moms out there like me that are like, yeah, hands up. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. Or dads out there too.
Anybody that just doesn't have any free time for themselves, you know what? It's okay. Self-care is important. Don't forget it.
Absolutely.
So basically, to wrap up, I've talked about some things. We know what Mindy does, but basically it's, a proven thing that listening to a podcast or music or something, or turning on the TV, which I know they say is really bad, but it's basically, for me, I agree with it. It blocks out my thoughts. And I know you're supposed to be able to fall asleep like all the perfect Mindys of the world.
But I do have to listen to something to fall asleep. So
I'll watch like 2.5, 3 hours of a show before I fall asleep. So it's a little challenge, but I agree. I think it's something to turn your brain off a little bit. And I think that's why I love my Real Housewives so much, because you can just kind of zone out.
Mindless.
That's kind of a lie because I get real into it.
Do you throw your glass at the TV and be like,
no, but I have made phone calls like mid episode, like, did you just see what Sheree did? I am so mad at Sonia. I hate Ramona. She's the worst person ever. Oh, Vicky. I could go on and on. Like,
I know you can.
Give me a city. I'll tell you a rant I have about it.
And if you can't fall asleep, just think of all of their names, city by city. And that's what you have to do tonight.
Well, let's hope that I don't need it, but that is the next one I'm going to do. Thank you for such great advice. That's why you're my bestie.
Welcome. Every time. So I mentioned we were had a family wedding this weekend. Wonderful time.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. This was my brother-in-law's brother. Okay, but we're all close. And so my whole family, my parents, my sisters were there. It's really hard for me to disconnect from being in the wedding vendor industry to not let things bother me. But I did my best.
Are you going to share a list or you get in trouble if you share a list of
No,
things that bother
I won't.
you?
I mean, the videographer was a tool. But anyways, so we're ceremony time. So it's raining out. It was a tented wedding. So they were hoping to do the ceremony outside and then the reception in the tent. But it was raining, kind of drizzly. So they did the ceremony inside the tent. It was beautiful. Kate walked down the aisle. Everything was great. And all of a sudden, I see my brother-in-law. So my brother-in-law, Kyle, was the best man. So the groomsmen were standing on one side and the bridesmaids were standing on the other. So my brother-in-law, Kyle, moused to my sister, who's standing next to me, I don't have the ring.
No!
Yeah. And I don't see this, but Kellie goes, oh my God, Kyle doesn't have the rings. And I was like, what? She's like, Kyle just mouthed to me, he doesn't have the rings. We're getting to the part of the ceremony where the rings are required.
What did he do with them?
I guess the story now, knowing it, the couple's son was supposed to be was the ring bearer, supposed to walk down the aisle and hand the rings to my brother-in-law, Kyle, but
they were mucking around, weren't they? They were mucking around.
They were just mucking around, and they never got to the best man. So I go into wedding day mode. I look at my sister, I go, take your mother-in-law's ring and your father-in-law's ring, hand them to Kyle. They can use their rings. No one will know the difference.
What about the bride and groom? Like, what the fuck? This isn't my ring we picked up.
Exactly. So she goes over to her mother-in-law. She's like, I need your ring. And so I'm like watching this whole thing quietly unfold because you don't want to bring attention to the fact that you do not have the rings, right?
You're such a pro, Mindy.
She takes the ring from her mother-in-law, but her father-in-law doesn't have his rings because he recently had surgery and he lost a lot of weight, so he wasn't wearing his ring.
Oh.
So she walks over to Kyle and says, use your ring and use your mom's ring and hand them to your brother. So shortly, right a few minutes later, may I have the rings? And he hands over.
Nick of time.
These rings.
In the nick of time.
And sure enough, the bride and groom look like, these aren't our rings. And Kyle's like, just looking like, yeah, just take them. Just take them.
Just do it.
Wedding went off with a hitch. None of the guests knew the wiser.
That's impressive to be in front of that many people. Good
No
job,
one knew.
Mindy.
Thank you.
Did they find the rings? The real rings?
I'm sure. I don't know. I didn't follow up with that part of the story, but all in all, like, it worked out. The only reason I knew that story is what to do is because we were at a wedding where the bridesmaid left the rings at the hotel.
Good.
And the parents of the bride were like, you can just use our rings. It was much more in advance than this happened, like 3 seconds before the ring exchange. But
time slowed down.
Well, that ends well.
Get your ring. Get your
I don't have the
mom's
rings.
ring. Just give it to them.
All good.
Oh, Mindy, that was a great story. You saved the day.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but it was still a lot of fun. We had a good time. It was a great day.
It sounds like it.
So
was
congratulations to Brendan and Kate.
Yay, congrats.
Yay. If you're enjoying today's episode just a little bit, we want you to tell your best friend about it. That's how this podcast continues to grow. And that's how we're going to reach over 5,000 downloads. So, hey, grab your phone. I know it's next to you right now because you're probably just hanging out on your phone and just text your best friend a link to the show. Just
right
this
now.
is the best show.
Don't even, just do it right now. We'll give you a second.
Brooke
Did you
looks
do
like she's
it?
counting sheep. So tell your bestie, tell villagers who sell fire extinguishers, tell Abraham Lincoln, tell your favorite magician and talent show winner about the podcast. We appreciate each and every one of our besties out there.
We really do.
We love you.
Thank you again to Lisa and Kellie.
So
great.
good.
Maybe
it's going down the history books.
G.O.A.T. It's the GOAT. Greatest of all
It's
time.
the GOAT.
It could be the GOAT.
It is a good episode. Love it.
It's the GOAT.
Thank you, Kellie and Lisa. Fantastic. All right, bestie. That wraps up another episode. But until next week, sweet dreams, bitches.
Thanks again for listening to Comedy by Indie Drop-In Network. If you would like to nominate a comedy podcast to be featured, just send me a tweet at Indie Drop-In. I'd also love to hear if one of our featured podcasts is now your favorite show. Indie Drop-In survives off ad revenue and listener donations. If you would like to contribute, please consider buying me a coffee. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/Indie Drop-In. If you look at the very bottom of the episode description, you will see a link. Indie Drop-In has many other shows that you also might like. Just go to indiedropin.com. All right, we'll see you next week.